Probably a lot of you guys heard about hypertension. I know I suffer from it and decided to go see the doctor, take medication because it's been a bit high. Even when I was doing keto, it got a little bit lower, but not never like really to my satisfaction. I decided to search a little bit around what are the natural ways to lower hypertension. I know like you can add garlic to your diet and stuff like that, but there's one magic pill that can help you lower your hypertension, and it's the DASH diet.
Hello, wellnessers. Welcome to Mind Blowing Health and Wellness with Violet Pat Chat Edition. I feel like I'm going to be disagreeing a lot in this video.
I'm Violet, and I'm Pat.
I'm Violet. This is Pat, and you're starting this off by saying that the DASH diet is the way to be the magic pill.
The magic pill. Like
oh, please help me understand.
It's the magic diet to lower hypertension. High blood pressure. If your pressure is above like 140 over 90, this is considered high blood pressure.
Okay.
Like for me, even when I was doing keto, I was doing good. I was 145 over like 95, if I remember correctly. So definitely it was a little bit high. And it's been high, like I remember playing badminton in my high school years and going like at the hospital, and the nurse took my pressure and it was like, oh, it's a little bit high, and I was in shape. So I think it might be like I don't know if it's possible for it to be genetic, but
nope.
I'm prone to like hypertension.
But you're also leading a standard American diet back then.
Back then, totally.
So
yeah.
To call it genetic, no.
Yeah, but I wasn't overweight. I wasn't.
You don't need to be overweight to have high blood pressure, though.
Yeah, I know. But just saying that usually it's also associated with like being overweight. So like that DASH diet that people refers often to it, and it's still like in my research considered one of the best diet out there.
Okay.
So dietary approaches to stop hypertension. That's what DASH means. Okay, focus on fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and low-fat meats. If you guys are familiar with the American Canadian Food Guide, they're the same. Basically, they're the same. Like we're talking about 6-8 servings per day of whole grains, 4-5 of vegetables, 4-5 servings of fruits, 2-3 of fat-free or low-fat dairies. We're talking about 4-5 servings of nuts, seeds, legumes, 6 servings of lean meat, 5 servings per week. Oh, I didn't even see that. 5 servings per week of sweets. Okay?
Less than.
Less than. Okay, it's less than 5. Sorry. So it's not recommended. It's under 5. And
actually, can we back up for a second? Because it's also less than 6 servings per day of lean meat. Less than.
Oh, less than of lean meat. Okay, so it's definitely not a meat-based diet. You're right. Forgot to mention that. And 2-3 servings per day of fats and oils.
The first thing I want to point out is that if I'm doing the math correctly, if I'm supposed to have, let's do the smallest number, 6 servings of grains, 4 servings of vegetables, 4 servings of fruits.
I'm at 33
2 servings. Are we already at
like 33 like servings per day of like, all that? Maybe not the 5, 33.
But I mean, like, we're supposed to have 30 servings of foods per day. Does anybody find that odd that we're eating 30 times per? Well, no, not 30 times, but 30 servings of anything per day. So like, if you just think about it, because I put perspective on this for 5 seconds. 4 servings of fruit. So let's just be simple and say I'm going to have 4 apples. That's still 4 apples that I'm eating alongside of 4 servings of, let's say, broccoli, that I'm going to eat alongside 4 servings of bread, that I'm going to eat alongside 4 servings of yogurt.
Yeah.
Like, does anybody realize right there that that's 4 complete meals?
But again,
I haven't even added any meat to that.
Yeah, but you're used to eating 1 meal per day. But like if you hold on a second. If you do it like breakfast, snack, lunch, snack, supper, snack, then it kind of start to make a little bit of sense, because in 1 meal you're gonna have 2 slices of bread with some lean meat and a dessert made of strawberries, for example. Already you have in 1 meal 5 or 6 servings of those things around, And I'm not defending that thing. I still think it's crap. But in a standard American diet way of doing things,
This diet ensures you have to have snacks to accomplish this. Because if I'm going to go with you, 3 meals, 5 things per meal, I'm still not at 30 something things. This diet is forcing me to have snacks. What do we know about every time we eat? Every single time I eat, no matter how clean I eat, I'm raising my insulin. This diet is making sure that I have 6 to 7 insulin spikes per day. Why do we think this is okay? Nah, and I'm saying spikes because it's lean meat. So everything that's on here is going to be towards spiking my insulin. This is supposed to be the diet that's going to lower your high blood pressure.
It's really carb oriented.
I'm gonna wait to hear the rest of this because I'm waiting for the good part.
But that's what struck me. Like when and even with my hypertension, I never actually but now that I know better, maybe before I would have benefited from that when I was eating a lot of junk and a lot of fast food and a lot of I never but I was eating a lot of pasta, a lot of potatoes. So
I just want to point out that there's a heart in the middle of the picture there. I love it.
Of course, yeah. So but that's my point. Maybe coming from eating super bad and fast food every day, and your favorite restaurant is, I won't name it, but they have burgers and fries and crap like that. I think all the studies shows that diet works because it was tested on people having a very bad diet in the first place to begin with.
Yeah. So you're coming from standard American, standard Canadian diet to this. Of course, you're going to do better.
Yeah.
But if you're
yeah, true. That's the thing. They're promoting, instead of eating cheeseburgers and fries, but you have more vegetables and you have whole foods. That's, I think, the positive we can get from that diet.
But my problem is that they equate vegetables and fruit.
Yeah, usually,
They're not saying,
or
4 servings of vegetables and 1 serving of fruit. They're equating them.
Yeah. And most food guys even will tell you it's 6 servings of fruits or vegetables in the same category. Again, when I saw that, I was like, oh, okay, that's kind of stupid. It's exactly like the Canadian or American food guide. There's not a lot of difference. The only thing that, again, I do find weird in their recommendation, and even my doctor, when I went to see the doctor for my hypertension, they recommend to lower salt, very to a low amount, a low number of milligrams per day. And not sure, again, maybe if you're coming from eating your fast food every day, that's the thing. Maybe if you're used to eat I don't know, 10,000 milligrams per day, having the recommended 1.6 grams is better, but I'm not sure.
Because so here's the problem, and Dr. Nicolodeano, I can never say this dude's name properly, has a whole book called The Salt Fix. He talks about this, the reality that, and I mean, we learned this in biology back in CEGEP here, but it's the lowest level of schooling that you can get past high school. You learn that every single cell in our body has the sodium potassium pump. Every single cell. It will not function if you do not have the right amount of sodium, salt. So we don't just like salt. We need it to survive, or this pump will stop working. And if it stops working, your entire system's going to fall apart. So the idea that we just need a little bit. No. Now, in fairness, if you are eating a standard American diet and you allow yourself to eat off the shelf food, so anything that's packaged, the amount of salt that's in those things, you're getting the salt. So not adding salt to your food is not necessary because you're getting the salt. But most people that are eating whole foods need to add salt to their food, because when you eat whole foods, the salt is not already there. Every doctor, every keto doctor that's talking about what's the problem with sugar, what do they tell us it's going to do to our heart? damage the walls of your heart.
Mm-hmm.
What does damage look like? Plaquing.
Mm-hmm.
Which if your idea about, like, if that idea that it's causing thickening wall, well, yeah, plaquing is going to
Mm-hmm.
cause it. So again, this goes back to this whole thing of when they're telling you that the answer is eat these foods, every single one of them high in carbohydrate. How is that the answer? I do not know.
Yeah, I don't
But
know.
one thing I will tell you that Dr. Westman said in that famous white coat video, I believe it was in, Dr. Barry has said it. Almost every doctor that I've ever watched has said it. When you do keto, if you are taking any medication, please be followed. Because why? Because when you fix the food you're eating, the medication will be too strong, because the only reason you needed the medication was because you were eating poorly.
Mm-hmm.
So if I believe them, then it automatically says what? That this kind of diet does what? It helps you to let your medication work. Is that really what we want? To take foods that then causes us to need this medication?
Yeah.
Because that's what I see there. I see a recipe for disaster. But Violet's not a doctor. Don't take my word for it. Talk to your doctor about it. If you applied keto appropriately and actually solved your high blood pressure, put it in the comments below. Because I have the feeling that when you are being followed by a keto-friendly doctor and really truly apply this properly, you can absolutely solve your high blood pressure.
That I did find an article where in 2020 and 2021, the two highest ranked diet, like in the world or in the US, were the DASH diet and the Mediterranean diet. So those are the two best diets that you can
How
follow.
did they rank it?
So
Like,
I'm not sure. Like,
based on what?
I'm not sure based
Was
on what.
was it
but,
based on, like,
But you remember those?
I want
no,
it
no,
to
but
be.
you remember those diets, those surveys? I think a couple of years ago, or maybe last year, say, "Oh, keto is ranked last in the diet." Blah,
That's
blah,
why
blah.
that's why I want to know,
So,
like, how did they rank
how
it?
they
Is it
rank
just
it, I don't
because
know.
is it the ones that the doctors suggest the
But-
most? Because I think those might be the ones that get you on the most medication. But anyways,
Yeah. One of the quotes I have in that article is one of the things that I love about the DASH diet is that between 7 and 10 servings of fruit and vegetables, 5 of each per day, she added, "You're so busy eating fruits and vegetables that you don't have room to eat a bunch of crappier food." So basically, like the diet prone fruits and vegetables over French fries, from what I understand.
honestly, if
So-
you're
so-
choosing fruits and vegetables over chocolate bars and cookies,
Yeah.
yes, I agree that this is better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So one of the doctor or quotes from this article I found, "I could never in good conscience tell someone who has diabetes to eat brown rice, which is part of the DASH diet and the Mediterranean diet." So she continued, because brown rice, regardless of the glycemic index, which is really relatively low, is loaded with carbs. So it's mostly carbs. So both diets are mostly carbs. So maybe you're gonna have your gain switching from your 5 days a week of fast food to the DASH diet.
It finishes off by
but
saying, if you have diabetes, you are very sensitive to
carbohydrate
carbohydrates.
intake.
Like, this doctor is saying that they could never in good conscience tell someone who has diabetes to eat brown rice, which is part of the Mediterranean diet. Because brown rice
Yeah.
is,
So she would not
is
recommend.
high in carb.
Yeah. So she would not recommend neither of those two diets to someone who has diabetes.
But
like,
we'll recommend it to someone who has
high blood pressure.
high blood pressure,
Yeah.
when all the research that's coming out recently is saying that high blood pressure and eating carbohydrates,
Or
there seems to be a link.
Mm.
Wouldn't it mean that
So-
you shouldn't suggest it to people with high blood pressure either?
Probably not.
I mean,
Probably not,
I
but, like,
so this is one of those things where when you kind of cherry pick your research to kind of to match what you want to say.
Yeah.
If I can get to that illness or another illness the same way, shouldn't I then be giving the same advice to both sets of people?
Mhm.
I'm always so scared when I see articles like this, because it really does make me question how deep doctors are willing to go. When you're going to advise me, how deep did you go to get to the Violet, do this? Are you just looking at the surface? Or are you really going deep to find out, like, how is what you're asking me to eat going to affect me long term? And unfortunately, my experience with this is that they don't go deep. Because from my personal experience, as a person who was finally diagnosed with thalassemia, the amount of times that I was given iron pills to kill me was crazy. And I take them, can't feel my leg. Stop taking them. No, you need to take them. I take them, can't taste anything. No, you have to take them. Like, until I finally just said, you know what? No, I'm not taking them because I feel worse when I take them than when I don't. Years later to find out that those pills would have killed me. So stuff like this, it just, please, I want everyone to get a second opinion. If you are having your own negative outcomes on medication or on diets that you're being, if you're not seeing improvements, ask more questions. Get second opinions. When you take a medication or when you are proposed by a doctor to do a diet, you're supposed to feel better. And if you're not feeling better, you need to ask more questions. I have a hard time looking at what's on that diet, believing that that's helping people to feel better. But maybe there are people out there who did the DASH diet and it absolutely worked. Please, I would love to hear someone saying that I did DASH and it worked and I feel better and I'm not on any and I'm not on any medication. Because if it works, you are not on any medication.
For sure, if you're already keto or carnivore, don't go try it.
No, I'm not saying that at all.
If you're eating like fast
I'm not
food
saying
often,
that at all. I'm not saying that at all. But what I want to know is, were there any
Yeah.
people who went on this diet from their doctor's
I'm sure.
referral and actually got better and never ended up taking medication? So that would mean that you've been doing it for like 3, 4+ years, 5+ years, and you've never had to take medication, just living this way. Because I'm curious about that.
Yeah, for sure, I do believe, anyway, for me, that a dietary approach to solve my high blood pressure is the key. I still have a little bit of weight. I still have a good amount of weight to lose. Hopefully, with the carnivore, that I'm gonna keep continuing my like 80% of the time, like it's gonna be good. Like hopefully, we'll see result. I don't think I'm gonna solve this in 3 months. I think it's gonna be a lower process, but we'll see.
And if
But
you
for
solve it in
sure-
3 months, you'll be very happy. So
Yeah.
I think it's just about doing what you know is going to help you and see what happens.
Yeah, I'm just not sure that the DASH diet is the the best approach to solve it.
I'm looking forward to your comments on this one because I'm really confused by all of this, and I find it hard to believe that this is still a
Yeah.
diet that's pushed or suggested or even looked at. So the fact that there's a relatively new article on it is surprising to me. There are some videos on the screen right there that are going to help you to improve your health and improve your mindset to keep your health good. I want to thank you for watching Mind Blowing Health and Wellness with Violet, Pat Chat Edition.
And please share the video to as many people as possible. Subscribe, leave a like, ring the bell,
Do all the things.
do all the things.
Can't wait to talk to you guys again next week.
Talk to you next week.